Lesson 11, The Rhythm Note Chart from Learn Violin Fast, Book 1. Use this chart to visually help you understand how different rhythms fit into each other. Very often when teachers teach this, and when you see this online, there'll be a whole note and it keeps splitting up into two, and you see 16s at the bottom, and everything's by rows. Although that's definitely a tried and true method of teaching how the rhythms divide, I always found it a little bit confusing. So the way I like to teach it is from basically like a pie chart, or really just like a circle, where the whole circle is always half, right? And then, or whole note, I apologize, right? The whole circle is a whole, and then you keep dividing that whole into different parts. And it's essentially just like fractions. So a whole note would be 1/1, right? Half of a whole, you have two halves, is 1/2, quarters, 1/4, and you'll notice how the circle always stays the same, but the quarter notes is 4 1/4, four quarter notes in a whole note. There's 16 in a whole note. There's 64, there's 32. The rhythms can go up really, really small, but most of the time you're going to be dealing with just whole notes, half notes, quarters, and eighth notes for the most part, especially at the beginning of your musical journey. So knowing and being able to identify the different notes is very important. Whole note is an empty circle. Half note is a circle with a stick. Quarter is a filled-in circle with a stick. I call it stick. It could be a line, whatever works for you. I call it stick because it's just a little bit silly and funny. An eighth note is a filled-in circle stick plus a bridge, right? Or it could be a tail if it's by itself. And then 16s will have two tails or two bridges. One of the best ways to read rhythm and to know how long the notes are is by the space between the notes. Especially if you read something quite challenging, not only do you have to figure out what notes they are, how to play them, but then also you have to look above the note to see how many tails or bridges it has. And one of the best ways to get rhythm, at least close enough and at the beginning of your musical journey, is to just follow the distance between the notes. You'll notice that if you have whole notes in your music, the notes are quite far apart. More distance between those notes, the more time you have to wait between the new note. Fast notes will always be squished together. So fast notes have very little distance between them, which means that they're quick. Less distance, less time, or the faster they are. More distance, the more time there is between notes. In most of written music notation, that will be the case. You can literally look at the distance between the notes and figure out if they're long or short. And if you train yourself to think visually the distance, it will really help you to spot any changes, any big changes in rhythms, whether they're long or short, not just by the type of note that you see, but how far it is from the notes between. So in a perfect world, you're going to use both. Is it a circle? Is it a filled circle with a stick? Does it have a tail? Does it have a bridge? And also how far apart they are. So hopefully this little trick helps you to be able to know the length of notes and make it easier for you to read music and make music more importantly. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and comment, and let me know if there's anything that is not clear that I will do with the follow-up video. Thanks for watching.